You've spent the last 3 weeks looking at the people around you asking, what are they doing for me? You've audited your proximity tax. You've labeled your anchors, your mirrors, and your windows. You've even looked for that empty chair we talked about in the last episode. Now, I have a question that is going to make you very uncomfortable. If you are the window in someone else's room, are you actually providing light, or are you just taking up space? If everyone at your table had your work ethic, your energy, your standards, would the room rise, fall, or stay stagnant? Welcome to the Achieve Your Apex podcast. I'm Chad Hyams, your voice of reason. We're closing out our series that we have been talking about how to find the right people and how to leave the wrong ones. Today, we're going to talk about the only thing that actually sustains an apex circle, being the catalyst. To own the table, you must be the reason the table's worth sitting at. Think about walking into a restaurant. If there was one person at every table, which table do you choose? And if you were one of those people sitting, are people going to choose yours? Most people approach networking like a parasite. They want to know, who can I meet and what can they give me? In psychology, there's a phenomenon called social loafing, the Ringelmann effect. It's the tendency for individual members of a group to become less productive as the size of the group increases because they think someone else will carry the weight. If you are in a high-level room and you are just along for the ride, you are the social loafer. You are the one leaning on the energy of the others while providing none of your own. You are the anchor in someone else's life. What I'm saying is, you are so focused on finding a window, you might have forgotten to be one. A catalyst is a substance that increases the rate of a chemical reaction without being consumed by the reaction itself. In a room, the catalyst is the person who walks in and the energy shifts. Standards rise. Conversations all of a sudden get sharper. Price's law suggests that in any given system, the square root of the total number of people provide 50% of the results. Meaning in a room of 10 people, 3 are doing half of the heavy lifting. Are you one of those 3? Or are you part of the 7 that's being carried? When you are the catalyst, you don't just sit in the room, you command it with the value you provide. You aren't there to take, you're there to fuel. I look back at that trip to Toronto to see those lifelong brothers who have my back. That circle is essential for my peace. We're mirrors to each other, and that has massive value, and I wish you a group like that in your life. However, the reason the circle has survived for decades is that we aren't just reflecting on the past. We are challenging the future. We each take turns being the catalyst. When one of us is coasting, another provides the window. When one of us hits a crash in our life, the others don't just offer sympathy, they offer a tactical adjustment. If you want a circle that lasts, you cannot be a permanent passenger. You must be willing to grab the wheel. As the proverb says, iron sharpens iron. So one man sharpens another. If you aren't sharpening, you're dulling the blade of the entire group. In the last episode, I warned you about being harvested. that was letting people drain your battery without recharging it. Today, I'm challenging you to check your output. Are you so afraid of being harvested that you've become stingy with your brilliance? High performance is not a zero-sum game. A study from the University of Pennsylvania found that givers actually dominate the top of the success ladder, provided they have boundaries. When you provide window light for someone else, it doesn't make your world darker, it makes the entire room brighter, which in turn allows you to see further. You fuel the room, and the room fuels the world. Take a second to pause the audio and look at your list of 5 names one more time before I go on. I'll be here waiting if you push pause. Welcome back. Next to each name, I want you to write down the last time you provided a window moment for them. When was the last time you challenged their low standards? When was the last time you brought a resource to them without even being asked? If that column is empty, you aren't a leader to that person. You're just a lucky guest in their room. Make sure you earn your seat. You don't need the title of CEO or host or something to be a catalyst. You lead from the middle by holding the room accountable to the standards. Dr. David McKellen's research into achievement motivation shows that people who are driven by the need for achievement seek out frequent feedback and take responsibility for results. When the conversation turns to gossip, you're the one who steers it back to growth, hopefully. When the group starts complaining about the plan crashing, you're the one who says, what could we win today to get back on track? You own the guts to be the one who says, this isn't our best work. This is how you become indispensable, and this is how you own that table. Your challenge for the close of this series is simple, and it's weight-bearing. Pick one person in your circle today and go be their window. Don't attempt to help. Own the responsibility of elevating them. Provide the connection they need. Give them the tough love encouragement they are missing. Show them a version of their future they are too exhausted to currently see for themselves. As Winston Churchill said, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. When you become a catalyst, you'll find that empty chair at the high-level table will start being offered to you before you even have to ask to join. The room you're creating is private property. It's your most valuable asset, your most dangerous liability. You've audited the tax, you've labeled the seats, and you've left room for the greats to show up. Now go out there and be the reason the room exists. Don't just sit at a table. Be the fuel that powers everyone sitting around it. And remember, as always, keep climbing.